Hey guys, so we'll take two. I guess some crazy Oilers fans were causing a ruckus and disrupt our internet here, so go Oil. And so yeah, today we're just going to chat a little bit about the first time home buying process, and we'll ask Daisy some questions. And you're here live with the Platinum team, so hopefully we can help you out with anything that you'd want to know about buying your first home or any time in the home buying process. So we had a couple of quick questions that come up when we meet with clients, and thought maybe we'd just start with that and see if you guys had anything else you'd want to know about. So one of the questions that we get asked quite often is, what are some of the initial costs to prepare for in buying a home? So how would you answer that?
Well, first of all, you usually need a minimum of a 5% down payment, and I would totally chat with a mortgage broker first. That's your first step. And what you're going to do is part of that down payment is going to go towards a deposit. So when you write an offer, you're going to accompany that offer with a deposit, which is just part of your 5% down. And what that does is it basically holds the house for you if the seller accepts your offer. And then upon closing, which is usually like a week before, your lawyer will call you for the remaining 5% down. So that's one of the initial costs you want to be prepared for. Have your 5% down payment ready to go. Also, you need to get a home inspection done. A home inspection costs between $375 to $500. Usually $375 for a condo, $500 for a house. You can shop that around, but that's going to be roughly the price range you're looking at. Yeah. Also, you're going to, if you're buying a condo, you need a condo document review company to take a look at everything and make sure all the accounting's up to date, that it's being well managed. And Shane, what would you roughly say condo document review?
Yeah, around similar to the home inspection, so anywhere around that $400 to $500. And of course, you don't have to do a review company, you don't have to do an inspection, but highly recommended. I think it's you need to be in a really great position to move ahead on a property without doing that due diligence. I think it would be a mistake to not do that, but you wouldn't have to, right?
Right.
So
highly suggest.
Yeah, highly. You did mention that you need a deposit when you first are buying a property and you make that offer. How much would you say you should have for a deposit? What is an acceptable deposit, you think?
Well, the higher your deposit, the stronger your offer looks. So I would recommend, since it's just part of your down payment anyways, doing as high of a deposit as you can. I would recommend, maybe $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, depending on the price range you're buying within.
Okay, so higher price range, should be prepared to tie up a little bit more money.
For sure. Okay. And if you're going into a multiple offer situation and another buyer puts down the same offer as you, but you have a higher deposit, that might win you out in that multiple offer situation.
So we have a question from Braylon. Braylon wants to know, as a new homeowner, what do I pay for a realtor?
Oh, so one more thing, just for initial cost to be prepared for, you also have legal fees that you want to be ready to go, and that's going to cost you about $1,200 to $1,500, and that covers the cost of transferring of titles, all the legal fees, getting all that paperwork put together. When it comes to what you pay your realtor, realtors get paid when there's an end result. So the transaction covers the service fee costs for that. So nothing out of pocket that a buyer is going to need, at the get-go when you first meet your realtor. You're not going to have to, come out of pocket with that money.
So often we get questions about buyers committing to working with a real estate agent. Do they have to?
Well, I think that first of all, you definitely want to find the right realtor for you. You want to find somebody that fits your personality type, that's looking out for your best interests. Your realtor should always be looking out for your best interests. So, again, because that service fee isn't normally covered until there's an end result, you would sign a commitment with them, which is a mandatory document that all real estate brokerages have their agents sign when you hire a realtor. And basically what it outlines is all the fiduciary duties, all the responsibilities that a realtor promises to provide for you. So
great. Yeah. So just like when you when we list a property with a client, we get a commitment from that client to work with them, and we're the sole representative for that client, looking after their best interests. Same goes for working with buyers. And so if your buyer representative doesn't require you to sign a commitment with them, I would be concerned on what other steps they're missing for you. You know, so I think it's super important that you have someone that is looking after your sole interest, and you have a commitment with them.
So often what some people do is they'll search online for a house that they like, and then they'll just call up the realtor that's selling that house, and then if they're interested in writing an offer and buying it, they'll just chat with that realtor and hope the realtor will organize everything for that offer. Well, if you do that, then you're not working with a realtor that's looking out solely for your best interests. So when it comes to the negotiating process, is that realtor going to be trying to get their seller the most money possible, or are they trying to get you the best deal possible for that house? So that's why I would recommend you hire your own realtor, so they're looking out for you and making sure that when it comes to the negotiating process that you're going to be, you know, the number one priority.
So what would you say to people who feel obligated to use a friend or a family that's a realtor instead of looking elsewhere for a realtor?
I could answer.
Yeah, go
sure.
for it.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I help plenty of my friends and family with their home buying and selling needs. So I think it's great. So I think it just comes down to where your comfort levels are. And you know, when I'm working with somebody, I get to know a lot about them, their financial situation, their family needs and wants and stuff like that. And sometimes that's uncomfortable for people, and they don't want to cross that line with somebody. So I can understand that, and having somebody more neutral could be more comfortable for them. Relationship, I'd say.
Okay.
Would you agree?
And
Yeah, for sure. And I know for myself, for my friends and family, I'm going to for sure 100% do everything in my power to make sure that they're well taken care of. And one of the things that I'm super proud of is that I'm part of an awesome real estate team. So they're not just getting my services, but the services of my entire team, including my team leader, who's one of the owners of RE/MAX River City, who has a wealth of knowledge and experience. And for myself, I just always want to make sure that people are taken care of, because yeah, I have a good heart, and I want to make sure that no one's ever, not being treated well.
So Daisy, you recommended that people speak with a mortgage specialist in regards to financing. What does that cost for them?
To talk to a mortgage broker and go through the whole pre-qualification process? Nothing. It doesn't cost them anything. And it's the smartest thing to do, and what I highly recommend everyone does before they start the house hunting. And there's a couple of reasons. Number one, you know what your buying power is, right? So you know exactly, what you should be looking for. Number two, you can get a rate hold, an interest rate hold for you, which, is usually 90 days. So interest rates, I don't think they're going to be going down anytime soon, but they will be going up. And if you get a rate hold done for you, then, if they do go up, you're going to get your held rate. And and lastly, that sometimes that can be a little bit of a lengthy process. So if you get the pre-qualification stage done and you've already chatted with a mortgage broker, then when you find that house that you're in love with, you're ready to go. There's no delays.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't support that enough. It's your very first step. We always do a buyer consultation with our new clients to kind of go over their, the wish list and their dreams. We talk about what to expect with the process, the home buying process, and a little bit of what's going on like right now in today's market and how we can win for you, right? And always our first step is to get the pre-qualification done, get set up with financing so that you know what your buying power is, you know what your budget is. I know some people will say, well, we can, we did the mortgage calculator and we can afford this, no problem. It may be different to what the bank is willing to lend you based on your job, credit, a bunch of things. And actually, we do plan our next Facebook Live to chat with one of our mortgage brokers, so we can grill him about the mortgage process. But I think for sure is the number one step is to making sure you know what you can qualify for and that you can actually in fact get a mortgage. It helps with your comfort level of what you're looking at for property. Also, when you make an offer, it helps that be a more secure and acceptable offer.
And one of my favorite pieces of advice that I give to first-time home buyers is that what you're pre-qualified for is not the same thing as what you can afford. So it's super important to chat with your mortgage broker about what your monthly payments would be on a specific price point that you're looking at. And then also keep in mind that you have to pay property taxes, insurance, you need utilities, you need to heat your home, have water, right?
Yeah. So the budget is really key. It's probably the least fun part about buying a new home. I think the snooping is probably the best part. So, but we'll definitely chat more about mortgages. Let's a little bit more about the home buying process. And so, how many homes do you think somebody looks at before they buy something?
Oh, that really varies. It could be 4, it could be 40.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, that varies based on their wants, their experience in the marketplace, and when they need to be into a place, I suppose, right?
And I think it's a great idea to kind of have in your mind what you want in a home. You know, if you're looking for a condo, a bungalow, have that idea in mind, and then, you know, we can make adjustments along the way. But that's definitely gonna help us narrow down the process a little bit for you.
So what does a realtor do in terms of finding a home that people can't do at home? So searching online, looking in classified, you know, what do you guys do beyond that?
That's a great question. And like, I've been in real estate now since 2003, and my role has changed a lot over the years. We used to be the gatekeepers of that information. You didn't know if a home was for sale unless the realtor told you about it. And I think nowadays, with technology and the information is so available, I have often where I'm helping clients with buying that they know more properties in a specific area than I know about, because that's their central focus. They're not also doing listings and also marketing, and you know what I mean? So besides what's being listed through the MLS system and through real estate agents, we often are looking through for off-market properties. Our office, we're almost 140 agents here. We do huge networking for coming soon properties, pocket listings, which would be something that's not quite listed or coming soon, that type of thing. We also, even right now, we have a client that's really looking aggressively in like the Glenora, Westmount, and Laurier Heights locations, and so we're communicating out to that neighborhood with letters and door knocking to try to see if anybody is thinking about selling and trying to find that match there. So just off the top of my head, there's a couple of things that we would do.
I think a great one is we do comparative market analysis for people. So basically what that means is, say you find a house that you're totally in love with and it's listed for $350,000. Do you know, as a first-time home buyer, if it's worth $350,000? Well, what I can do as your agent is I can look for comparable homes that are, you know, roughly around the same size, that are in the neighborhood, that sold within the last 6 months, to know if, you know, that's a good value at what it's priced at. And then often what we can do, you know, if we found out a house that was, you know, pretty similar sold for $325,000 a month before, we can, you know, go up to the seller during the negotiation process and be like, well, this whole home sold for $325,000 a month ago, so that's why we're going to come to you with this offer instead. You know, we do tons of research. We get Edmonton market reports every single month that tells us the statistics of what's selling, average price point, average days on market, and this is all information that we love getting for our buyers to make sure that they're getting the best deal possible.
Awesome. So again, we'll just reiterate what our next Facebook Live is going to be out, who we're going to be talking to.
Sure, yeah, we're looking at in May, so late May, we're going to meet with Chris Crawford. He's with Innovative Mortgage Solutions, and we're going to grill him about the mortgage process, pitfalls to avoid, how to make your credit look good, all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, we'll have a chat with him and hopefully add some value to you folks in the marketplace.
Awesome.
Oh, one last thing I wanted to mention, another favorite piece of advice that I love to give to first-time home buyers is this is probably the most money that you're going to spend in your lifetime until the next house down the road. And if you ever feel pressured by your realtor to purchase something, then they're not the right realtor for you. You want to make sure that you're 100% confident about that decision, and that's our job, to make sure that we help you find a place that you're going to fall in love with and be 100% sure about. Then you're ready to go and you'll be in your new home.
Awesome. Okay, thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Thanks, bye.